Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Jacci. If you're not new here, then you already know, but I am a Vancouver blogger. I post probably primarily fashion and lifestyle content, but I've been posting more beauty content lately over on TikTok because makeup is so fun for me. I get into it a little bit in this video of how I started learning about makeup. So I hope you guys enjoy watching how I achieved this everyday makeup tutorial. This is kind of how I do my makeup when I have shoot days or when I have events, and I hope you enjoy it. So I don't typically get ready here. I actually have like a little solarium I get ready in. So all my makeup's in this box because I transferred it from my makeup desk to here. So if you hear like a little crinkling around, that's what it's from. We're gonna start off with the Ordinary moisturizing factors. This has been my go-to moisturizer for a while now. I struggle with moisturizers a lot, so finding one that doesn't make me break out, doesn't make me too greasy, and doesn't not moisturize enough was this guy, and I've just been rocking with it since. I feel like it's perfect under makeup, at least for me. So then we're also gonna mix the moisturizer with this Say Dewy highlighter in the shade Sun Glow. A lot of people use the other shade. It's more of a champagne-y, but because I am olive skin tones, I like to use this shade, which is like that color. So typically I use like 1 to 2 pumps. If you guys hear the tippy tapping, that's my little boy Harv. Oh, you saw his tail there. I mixed those two products together on my hands, and we're just gonna go in. I think I put a little bit too much moisturizer, but it's okay, we'll just rub it in. I almost didn't film this today because I feel like my skin was having a bad morning, but I feel like it's kind of perfect to show you guys my makeup routine even on a not like great skin day. It's not terrible, like I've definitely had worse, but some days I have really clear skin, and it would have been nice to obviously film that on one of those days, but just working with what I can. I don't know if you guys can see this like crazy baby hair here, but I'm just gonna tame it with a brow gel because I want it to be slicked down. I'm gonna have to re-slick my hair once my makeup's done because I know these parts are gonna get messed up for sure. For today's makeup, I'm gonna do the Underpainting Mary Phillips technique because I really like the way that looks for day makeup. My night makeup routine is completely different, and I don't do this every day, but this is what I've been gravitating towards the last like 3 or 4 weeks. And I do feel like it makes a difference in terms of like longevity of day makeup. And I'm gonna be in the sun today, so I think it's just better that we do this. So I'm going in with the Nude Sticks Matte, Nudies Matte, All Over Face Bronze Color. If you guys don't know what the Mary Phillips technique is, which I'm sure a lot of you guys do if you're on TikTok, it is where you do your contour and your concealer under your foundation, and it creates like a really natural glow. So these are all the places I do my contour. Right here, right where my ear, the top of my ear sits, on both sides. And then I do dots around the outline of my forehead because I find if I do a line, it's too much product. I can always go in and add more. I do a little bit here. I do on the sides of my nose, on the end of my nose like that, a little line here, and we're gonna do the jawline there and a little bit of the chin. Gonna go in with my Real Techniques brush, the Real Techniques 200, and we're just gonna blend. I usually start at my cheeks, and I like to pull my hair here and go like this. As I'm blending, you guys can watch and I'll just chat, so it's not just you watching me do makeup the entire time. I shared on my TikTok yesterday, but I've just been kind of struggling mentally lately. If you guys have been following my YouTube videos for a while now, then you know I hurt my back in November, and I feel like that's when things changed for me in terms of my mental health, because I rely heavily on body movement of some sort to counteract any anxiety. I don't think I've ever experienced depression, but I do have anxiety. I live with it kind of on the daily, and I have for a long time. I didn't realize it was anxiety until I was like in my early 20s, but my whole teenage life I absolutely had anxiety. I just didn't really know what it was until I grew up. Working out was something that really helped me get out of my head and just be present. So then when I hurt my back in November, I was not able to work out anymore. So I took all of December, most of January off. And I remember like mid-January, I started to feel really anxious. I like couldn't really snap out of some moods I was in. Like typically if I have a bad couple mental health days, I can snap out of it, or like a week or whatever. But this time I wasn't like feeling like I was able to snap out of it. So I have been given the go-ahead to walk. So I started with a challenge of walking 10K steps a day. I like to blend my nose with a beauty blender. I think it makes you keep the product in one place better. So I started a 10K steps challenge. I think that was mid-January, or maybe it was early February. I'm not really sure, I can't remember. And I've been sticking to it. I have missed like a few days. I don't make it an all or nothing thing. Like if I don't hit 10K steps a day, like it's just like when you don't go to the gym every day of the week, that is a-okay. You just like hop back on your routine again the next day. And pause because I'm going to show you guys my concealer. So that is what the base contour looks like. It looks a little crazy, but that's okay. It'll look better once it's done. Going in with the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Custard. I've used this since high school and I've never strayed away. I love it so much. So I'm going to put it under my eyes first because I like to let it sit for like a couple minutes. So we're doing that first. I am a heavy under eye concealer girl. I always have been. I feel like I have dark-ish under circles due to genetics. It runs in my family. So I used to color correct, and this year I finally stopped, or like last year I guess. Within the year I stopped doing that because I don't need it, but I do use a lot of concealer to combat that. Conceal here, here. Sometimes I like to do a little here. I do a little here. It's hard to look in the camera and the mirror at the same time. A little here. And I always like to make sure these lines are even on my face, or at least like as close to being even as possible, because otherwise your contour is gonna look wonky. And then I do my nose last with like the least amount of product on the wand. A little bit here. I don't do a full line down my nose. I do a little on the tip and a teeny bit here. So that is the concealing. Harv's here, can you see his tail? I'm going to take a beauty blender and I'm going to blend everywhere except for my under eyes, because like I said, I like to let that sit. I don't like to let the concealer sit on the rest of my face for too long because then I feel like it dries out. I was talking about my 10K steps challenge. So yeah, I was able to keep up with that habit. Hasn't been an all or nothing thing for me. If I don't hit 10K steps a day, it's a-okay. I just hop back on it the next day. And I feel like I've always had a really good outlook on fitness, and just like, it's, if you fall off, you just get back on it the next day. It's not like, oh, you start over kind of thing. I don't know. So I treat my 10K steps a day like that. But I've been doing that for however long, 3 weeks at this point. Probably a little longer when you're watching this because I have to edit it. I just like haven't been able to snap out of my anxious body, which really sucks. And I talked about it a little bit in my last vlog, but I wanted to share a little bit more because I'm not gonna lie, like I've been struggling, and it's something that's hard to talk about, but also I know it's so important to talk about. And so I try and do all the things that I typically would do or have done in the past that would combat the anxious state I'm in, but I feel like they're not working. Like journaling, making my bed every day, getting ready more, drinking enough water, walking 10K steps a day, practicing gratitude, staying on top of my work. I'm like still in this anxious state, and it really fucking sucks. And the reason I'm sharing it is like not, again, like I get worried sharing stuff like this because I don't want people to think that I'm looking for sympathy, which I know you guys know me and I know you wouldn't ever think that. I think it's just an insecurity that pops up in my head, but I do think it's important to share because my life can look so put together, but like also sometimes it's really hard, and lately it's been really hard, and I want to share that. So if you're going through a hard time, you don't feel so alone, and you know that it's normal, and you know that people who look like their life is all together on the internet actually don't have their life all together, because my life's definitely not all together right now. I struggle a lot lately. Like, I've been having things in my head pop up that typically don't bother me, or insecurities are popping up that I'm like, why am I having these thoughts? Things that like I won't even share with my close friends. And I'm a pretty open book when it comes to a lot of stuff in my life. I always share with my friends, and in these instances the thoughts that are coming into my head are so absurd, and I know they're not even me on a typical basis, that I don't want to share them with anyone. I have shared them with my mom and my sister and my close family because I do feel like it's important to talk through those things and figure out why they're coming up. I've been having insecure thoughts about myself as a human, and just like certain aspects of my life that I don't feel comfortable sharing with my friends, but I only feel comfortable sharing with my sister, who I know is a safe space. And the things that even come out of my mouth when I'm sharing with her, I say to her and my mom, I'm like, I don't even know why I'm having these thoughts. They're so silly. I know they sound ridiculous, and like they just listen and, you know, validate my feelings and ask me questions to self-reflect and stuff. But like, that's just an example of how bad I feel like my mental health has been lately. My under eye concealer has been sitting for a minute, so I'm gonna go in and blend it. I'm gonna use this angled part to really get in the corner. But anyways, I know I'll be okay. I am keeping a positive mindset because I do believe in having positive affirmations, and all of that jazz really does affect your life. So I try and honor my feelings but also, you know, keep positive and try and think forward. I shared a little bit about my back situation in my last vlog, and I'm hoping to take some next steps in terms of the healing of that, hopefully within a couple weeks, which will help hopefully tremendously. Although now that I'm in this mindset, and it could just be the state of my mental health, I'm worried, is that even the problem? You know, is my back the problem? Like, that's where it started, but maybe I have some other things I need to reflect on and really work through, not just getting back to working out. Although that seems like the ideal situation. Would be so nice if my back was just the reason that I'm this way. I guess we'll find out and time will tell. Update on the face, looking a little crazy. I'm gonna put a teeny bit more concealer right here because I feel like when I let that concealer sit like that, it dries it out. So I put a little bit because NARS is such a radiant creamy concealer. This just moisturizes it a bit before I set it with some powder. Next, I'm going to set the under eyes. I just used the Laura Mercier translucent powder, and I use a little brush like this. I only use it for my under eyes, which is why it has like this white dust on it. And I take the teeniest bit of powder. I'm not a huge powder girl. Teeniest bit, and I honestly like dust it off a lot. And I'm going to just go over where I put the concealer, but not fully, literally just where I have the creases right underneath my eye, like this. And I like to keep a neutral face when I do it. Otherwise, if I go like this and I scrunch my eye to make room to get the brush under there, it sets the creases in place and looks really bad. So neutral face, gently tap the powder right where I need to set. And you guys, don't kill me. If you're a powder girl, I understand. I just am not, and I hate to break it to you because I'm sure a lot of you guys use powder and bake, but I just don't. So if you're following along and you want to try like my makeup technique or whatever, or my products, then just bake whenever you need to. So if at this point you need to bake. So I actually got a new foundation recently. It's the YSL All Hours foundation, but because I've only been using it for less than a week, I'm not going to use it for this video. I'm going to use a product that I have tried time and time again, and I really love it. It's the House Labs foundation. This is Lady Gaga's brand, if you didn't know. I'm using the shade, oh, here we go, 260 Light Medium Cool. I actually think the shade is not really a perfect match for me. When I looked on Sephora, it said that it was for olive undertones, but then it's a cool tone foundation, so I kind of effed up there, but it was my bad. So I'm just gonna go on the back of my hand with, ooh, that's a lot. If I was doing foundation first, I would do a pump and a half, but because I'm doing foundation after my contour and after my concealer, I typically only do like a half pump, but I accidentally just put too much. So I like to put it on the back of my hand and warm up the foundation a little bit, and then I use a finger to dab it on. And so when I'm doing this technique, I do one dot there, one dot there, one dot there, little dot there, dot there, dot there, dot there, dot there, dot there, a little dot right here too. We can always add more foundation if we need, but I don't think we'll need to. So then I'm gonna take my beauty sponge again, and we're just gonna start on the chin. And make sure you blend a lot. Like, just make sure you tap, tap, tap gently and diffuse the product. Because if I were to go like this and go right over here, obviously it's gonna cover the contour. So I'm gonna just blend here for a second, and then take the leftover on my sponge and go over lightly. We go over here and stay under that contour. Same thing on this side. Blend, blend, blend right here. Diffuse product over the contour lightly. Go underneath. Don't spend too much time on top of the contour. You don't want to cover it. And then same thing up here. Diffuse, diffuse, diffuse. I kind of like don't go too heavily over the parts that I concealed as well, because why would we want to hide the brightness? And then I use the leftover product on my sponge to do the nose lightly. I like to do under my brow bone, just so it's all cohesive. And that is the base. To be honest, I'm pretty impressed with that. I think it looks good. You can still see contour, but we're gonna go in and fix it with powder after. I'm going to unfortunately waste this foundation. Wow, that's sad. Hate that. I wish you guys just saw what I did. I literally, my chapstick was on top of my heater panel, and I just opened it and spilt the liquid everywhere, all over my leg and pants. I literally have to go throw these in the wash. Pause. All right, I have other chapstick stock though, so we're good. Pro is I get to open a fresh baby. I'm a chapstick slut. Like, I apply chapstick a concerning amount of times a day. I can't help it. I've been like this since high school, and I know it's like a, if you continue to use it, it'll continue to be a problem situation, but I can't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Okay, let's move on to bronzer. Using the Hoola Classic Hoola. Everyone uses this. This is the matte bronzer. I don't know, I know they have different shades, but this is just, I believe, the regular one. So this type of brush, don't know the name of it, it's from BH Cosmetics. I've had these brushes for literally years. I get the brush coated and then I tap off any sort of excess so I don't get any lines on my face. So we're gonna go over all the places that we did the under contour, and we're just going to move my hair. Bronzer up. You can obviously be a little bit more messy with bronzer. It doesn't have to be as precise because it is kind of diffusing the look and making it look all put together. So that's side one. It's hard to tell how it's coming across on camera. What if I edit this back and the blending is absolutely garbage? I don't think I'm an expert in makeup by any means. I do spend a lot of time learning new things about makeup and trying new products. I don't know where my love of makeup came, but like, I was not always this way. I think once I started making my own money and I could invest in makeup products that I actually wanted to try, things really changed for me. In high school, I remember I was always the girl who would have like an orange ring around her face. I'm sure a lot of you were the same. And then once I got a job as a server, I think I started just like becoming obsessed with Sephora. It was probably like peak YouTube makeup blogger era. And I remember spending hours learning about makeup, watching YouTube videos, and doing my makeup sitting on the floor in front of my mirror in my mom's old house, in my bedroom, my childhood bedroom, and just learning about how to contour your face and how to use the techniques that they use. I think just makeup is such a beautiful form of art expression, and I honestly think like you either have the hand or you don't. Not saying that like you can't learn, but like makeup artists, I'm not one clearly because I don't think I have the hand, are so talented with the technique that they use and the way they apply it on your face and like the pressure they use. It is literally an art form, and you just gotta find what works for your face. And this is just the process I've learned for my face over the years. So we're bronzed now, things are coming together. And for my eyes, I use the same bronzer on the same brush. This is just for my day look. Like I said, my night look is much more complex. And we're just gonna dust it over the eyes. No primer, nothing. Literally just making the look super cohesive and monochromatic by using the same color bronzer for my eyelids as my cheeks and face. So that's what that looks like. And then I'm gonna take a blending brush like this, also from BH Cosmetics. It's like your classic eyeshadow blending brush. And you guys don't kill me. I'm going to use a old ass Morphe contour palette. I bet you they don't, I actually think I've looked, they don't make this anymore. 06PW. I bought this for contour and I hated it for my face. I mean, like looking at natural light, it's giving warm tones, but I think it just is patchy. So I use it for my eyes and I have for years. I'm going to go in with, I switch it up from time to time, but for today, I'm gonna go in with this shade right here, which is coming across more red on camera, but it's actually pretty dark brown in person. And just a little bit, tap the excess off like everything else I do. And we're gonna go in the crease, and we're just gonna window wiper that back and forth. I'm not super precise with my eyeshadow. I'm pretty laxy lazy with it. I let it get messy, I let it get everywhere. That's just my technique. Blend, 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 all the way up my brow bone. I have pretty big brow bones, so. And just gives it a little bit more dimension. You can see the difference on this side versus this side. I'm gonna do the same on the other side, just in the crease, little dimension, blending a lot, like swipe it as much as you can, because the more you swipe it, the more blended it's gonna be. All the way up my brow bone, and I like to just dust it out a little like this to give a little bit of a cat eye effect, I guess. But again, I don't spend a lot of time on it, especially for my day makeup routine, because I don't want some crazy eyeshadow look. I want it to be like very light, very natural looking. Then we're gonna use the same palette, and I'm gonna take an angled brush like this, also from BH Cosmetics, and we're going to tap into, wow, it's coming across so red on camera, that's really throwing me off. Gonna tap into this one and just coat both sides of the brush, tap off the excess, and we're gonna do a little wing. I don't know when I started doing wings on my eyes, but I can't go back now. Like literally it's game over for me. My makeup doesn't feel right unless I do a wing. The wing technique, do as you please, whatever works for you. I feel like that's important because I don't even have a technique when I come to it. I go like within the line of my under eye up, and I try and keep the wings as even as possible, but it doesn't always happen. So let me try and show you guys. I'll use a smaller mirror so I can get a little closer. This side's always easier. So we're just gonna go up like that, tap and get a little more product. And I'm gonna go now along, is this called the waterline? My eyelash line, to create like a eyeliner kind of look. more product, tap off, and then I'm going to connect the two and fill in this empty space. Like that. And then to complete the look, I'm going to use whatever is left over on my brush, no new product. I'm going to go on, this is the waterline. I'm going to go underneath, only halfway or like quarter of the way across underneath my eye. Same with the top, sorry. I only do like halfway across my eyelid and then a quarter or like halfway across my waterline to connect it all. Like that. Same thing on the other side. Hopefully you guys can see this better. Like I said, this is always my harder side. I always just can't get the point right. It's already looking bad. It's fine. We're gonna rock with it. So halfway across the eyelid. A little bit more product to connect the two. So it looks like a wing. Filling in this empty space right here. And leftover product to do under the eye waterline. Are they even? Not terrible. Could be worse today. They're pretty even. Pretty proud. God bless the eyeliner gods today. They're on my side for this makeup tutorial. I'm gonna do eyebrows now. Typically I do them earlier in my routine, but I don't know. I think I got lost chatting. I use the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil in the shade 3.5. I used to use the Goof Proof. I accidentally bought this one and I do like it, but I'll probably get the Goof Proof again. But both work great. I do love Benefit's brow products in general. You guys, wait, it's not twisting out. I feel like I'm gonna need to replenish. This is the worst thing that could ever happen to me today. I'm twisting at both ends. I literally used this yesterday and it was fine. There was still so much product left. What am I gonna do? I don't have another brow pencil. I might have to use eyeshadow. So I'm just gonna brush through my brows like this. Put them in their place before I fill them in. I might have to rock without brow product today. Not that my brows look bad, but okay, no. I'm gonna go in with that same brush I just used for my eyeliner because that's the closest thing I have to a brow brush. Let me check if I have an extra brow pencil. Sick. I don't. Okay. We're just going to pivot. Typically I would use the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil, but today we are using an angled brush and eyeshadow. Just picking a very neutral brown shade. I'm not going to show you guys what products I'm using for this because this is not what I typically use. Sorry, I really had to focus while I was doing that because I don't typically do my brows that way. So it actually turned out not terrible. Could be better, could be worse. Just gonna brush the product through with that spoolie, and then we're gonna go on, this kind of scares me, with the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter, which is just a clear brow gel. I'm scared it's gonna pull the product. Oh, just lightly brush these babies into place like that. I do love this brow product. It doesn't pill or anything. It's really great, and like you guys saw, I use it for my hair too. Okay, brows are done. We are going to do some blush. For blush, lately I've been obsessed with the Rare Beauty shade Bliss. I got this in July. It's lasted a long time, but I on and off use it depending on what kind of makeup I'm doing for the day. I have a couple other liquid blushes, but for day makeup I love the way this one looks, and I feel like the product mixes really nicely with like when I already have powder on my face, which I already have that bronzer. So we're just gonna go on the apples of our cheeks. I kind of smile like this, and I go right here under my eye. You guys will see. I like to brush off the product on the tip because I don't want it to be too much. We all know this product is super pigmented. So that much. And this product is a matte product, so I feel like it dries down fast. So I use some NYX setting spray to make sure it doesn't dry down. I'm going to use my Real Techniques 200 brush, the same one we used to blend the contour, and we're just going to tap, tap, tap and disperse the product on the cheekbones. I've shared this on my TikTok, but I just started using blush last summer. Can you guys believe that? I never used blush before. I always thought it made me look crazy, and now when I do my makeup without it, I actually feel so flat and I feel like my face has no life to it. I can't believe I went so long without it. So that is the blush on. I guess I like bring it here and then up here, and sometimes I dab a little on my nose. Then we are going to do mascara. I am the most loyal hoe to this mascara. This is the CoverGirl Supersizer mascara in the shade Very Black. I don't know, I've tried to put Friends on it and they don't like it, but I find it doesn't transfer like typically other mascaras I use. I'll like make my lashes really long and then I'll end up with like black marks here and within a couple hours, or black marks under here, it like bleeds. This one for me does not. So if you're looking for a new drugstore mascara and you have the bleeding problem, try it out. It's not like a super expensive investment. I think it's like max 15 bucks. Sometimes you can get it on sale for under 10. So I curl my lashes before I do mascara. There's no real technique to doing mascara for me. Some days it looks good, some days it don't. I actually made a TikTok last night about how the mascara cycle is so funny. So when you first get mascara, if you wear makeup, you can relate to this. When you first get mascara, it is awful. It's so creamy, or like, I don't know, it hasn't thickened up yet, it hasn't dried out enough. It's kind of like clumpy, it goes on your lashes, it can make a mess. It doesn't separate your lashes enough, there's too much product coming out. After like a month of using it, it's in the perfect state that you want it to be in. It is like it is right now for me. Separates your lashes perfectly, not too much product where it comes out cakey. You have like a week of that because eventually it dries out completely and you have to get a new mascara product and start the cycle all over again. So that's the difference between lashes on this side and not on this side. Really like wakes up the eye. Spend time on this part. It'll make or break your makeup in my opinion. And then I do a little bit of mascara on my lower lashes like this. And then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So lash curl first, pump 5 or 6 times, and just go through and make sure you get all the lashes and apply quite a few coats to really elongate the lashes and make them look darker and longer and thicker. And there's mascara on both sides. My eyes just look so much more awake and my makeup routine is just coming together so much more. A little bit on the lower lash line. This is the stage where I finally feel like my makeup's coming together. Up until this point I'm like, I hate it. My makeup looks so bad for the day. Blah blah blah. My face has so much texture, and then I put mascara on and I'm like, oh, okay. It's actually not so bad. And then we're gonna go on with some highlighter. Again, you guys are gonna kill me. I use this old ass Becca highlighter. They don't even exist anymore. I'm pretty sure Smashbox bought them. And oh wow, I'm just on fire today. So this is how much I have left. You could say I'm sustainable. We're gonna use the Real Techniques 402. It is for highlighter or for powder, and I use it for highlighter. I used to use it for powder, but like I said, I don't use a lot of powder. And we're just gonna go down the bridge of our nose for a little glow, and kind of in this C shape right here. Oh, that was a lot. That was an accident. We'll fix that. Right here on both sides of the face. A little here, a little on your chin, a little on your brow bone if you want. Depends on the day for me. Today we're doing it. And that's that. Then we are going to go on and use the Real Techniques 400 brush. This is a blush brush. We are going to use this shade Lovejoy from MAC. Again, I've had this for years. I'm sorry. I think they still make this though. It is a shimmery blush. It's this beautiful shade. It's a mineralized brush. So we're gonna use a teensy beansy amount because I don't like a too much blush look. But then we're just gonna go over where we put our blush. I like that it's shimmery and it blends together with the highlighter we just put on. My back is killing me. For lipstick products, I switch these up a lot, so I can't really give you like a one answer, but the 4 products I rotate between on the daily are MAC in the shade Yash. It's this beautiful mauve-y, kind of almost purpley. And then lipstick Charlotte Tilbury in the shade Cover Star, beautiful apricot nude. Lip liner Charlotte Tilbury in the shade Iconic Nude. You've heard this before, I bet. And then lip liner from MAC in the shade Oak. I think I'm gonna use Oak and Cover Star today by Charlotte Tilbury. I just have been like, I go through phases where I like certain products and where I don't. And my phase right now is I don't like a super purpley lipstick look. So, oh, it's already sharpened. Wiping off the chapstick that I had on. And we're just gonna go in and line. I definitely overline my lips because my top lip I feel like is a lot smaller than my bottom lip. And I like to fill in the entire lip with liner. Always have, always will. Find it makes your makeup last way longer. And we're gonna go on the top lip, and you're gonna start with your triangles or your Cupid's bow. Maybe yours is round, mine's are triangles. And I'm gonna make this weird face to really make sure I get in the lines. And I drag it down all the way into the corner, fill in the entire top lip. It's not like a crazy overline, but I go a little bit over my natural lip line. And that's what they look like. And then we're gonna go in with Cover Star, just go right on top. This is the creamiest lipstick I've ever owned. It's almost too creamy. Like, I feel like because it's so creamy it falls off fast, versus MAC lasts a long time. And then after the lipstick's on, this is what it looks like. Really nice nude. I'm gonna go in and blend the two. So I just kind of go over the outside and like that. Last product we're going to use is the Airbrush Flawless Filter from Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. It is insane. I started using it when I was able to again get my hands on it because it's always sold out, and I will never go back. It does actually work. I feel like it makes my makeup last. So we're just gonna spray a lot because I'm shooting today. We're gonna let that dry, put a little perfume on and call it a day. Maison Margiela Replica by the Fireplace. Chef's Kiss scent. I'm obsessed with it. Okay guys, you've reached the end of my first ever makeup tutorial. I'm saying tutorial in quotations because I am not a makeup artist or a beauty blogger by any means. This is just how I do my everyday makeup. So I hope you guys learned something. I hope it makes you want to try some new products. I hope it makes you want to go spend $300 at Sephora because you deserve that. If you want to do that, you deserve that. This look, I'm happy with how it turned out. I hope it translates on camera. I don't know, this is my first ever video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up. If you're not new here, make sure you hit subscribe and comment below what you want to see from me in my next video, like whether it is my nighttime glam, again using quotation marks, or my morning routine, my nighttime routine, some outfit ideas. I want to hear from you. So anyways guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys being here. If you're not new here, I love you. Thank you so much for watching till this point, and I'm gonna go shoot some content.